darlings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are receiving this. I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you for choosing to go on this 30-day journey with me. Like, that's the first thing that I want to say is that I am doing this journey right alongside you because this is a practice that I also need to come back to often. And the message that I want to share with you today as one of our first days together is so potent, and I'm so excited, like the depth of what we're going to get to touch upon in as little as a month. I really feel is going to be such a revelation in your life and in your business, because what we're really talking about is our connection to trust. And while we're talking about sensual strategy, as you might have heard in the original devotional, the sample devotional, and if you haven't received that yet, please let me know and I'll make sure that you get a link to that, is we're talking about rebuilding our relationship with trust. And this is, of course, in the body, like how we feel trust on an embodied level, meaning that we're literally the actions and the thoughts that we're having are really truly rooted in faith and in belief in ourselves, belief in the cosmos, belief that God has got our back, whether you relate to it as God, Spirit, Goddess. Again, I really don't care how you personally relate to it. It's the essence of that what we're talking about. And so I am walking this beside you. Like, literally right now I'm recording this. I've got my prayer candle lit. I have my incense going. Like, I am in prayer. I am in communion with you. And so I'm excited. And today, what I want to share with you is so powerful because in my journey of life, of my connection with spirit, even in my relationship with psychedelics, honestly, what I'm constantly shown are different ways that the enemy comes in and tries to attack our conscious and tries to attack our psyche, because that's the enemy's realm. If he can get into our thoughts, then it's really easy to kind of control us or manipulate us from that place. And I've seen many visions of how the enemy does this. And today's message, I feel like, is so potent because what I want to talk about is the enticement that the enemy has, and the way that this shows up in our life, the way that this shows up in love, and especially in our business. But before I get to that, I really just want to share my intention for us, for you, for the next 30 days. And so my intention is really that my words and what I share, which are very much my reflections, right? And some of these things you might agree with, some of them you might not agree with, right? And so this process is kind of like, I pray that this is spiritual nourishment for your soul, where you're able to receive what I'm saying, receive my instructions, take the time that you need to quite literally process them, meaning process them in the mind. Like, how does this make sense? Where am I seeing some resonance? I'm like, yep, okay, I agree with that. And also digest it through your body, quite literally digesting. So you're going to go through this process of like hearing what I'm saying. Your mind's going to receive it and it's going to try to process it based upon your lens, right, and your perspective of life and what you've been through. And then you're also going to digest it through your body. How does that make me feel? Does it bring relief? Does it make me contract? Does it make me kind of uncomfortable, right? You're going to actually be digesting the information. Then you get to literally dump out the shit, like dump out what does not serve you. And the rest, you get to allow it to nourish you. And that's really what I'm praying into, is that this whole 30 days is nourishing. You really feel nourished from the inside out. And that this truth of, wow, I am so divinely held, I'm so provided for, gets to be a new reality for you. And so it's really important that during our time together, you're able to keep an open mind and an open heart. Yeah? And so even in those moments where you might experience a little contraction or a little uncomfortability, how can we just give that space to breathe, let that be there in the room as well, and sit with the duality, right, of what I'm saying and maybe what you've heard in the past or what society has kind of cast against us. And so I wanted to share that first before I got into this. And while I recognize we're doing a drop every day, and I'm asking things of you every day, you will have this whole 30 days to then afterwards really unpack it and piece it together in the way that makes the most sense for you, your life, and your business. So, of course, this is just one way of doing things. And the best thing about us all being individuals is that we get to take it and we get to create it from what feels most aligned for us. So how I communicate and how I do it is never going to be the exact way that you communicate and you do it, right? You get to process it and then feed it out to your people through your lens and through the way that resonates with you, trusting that ultimately when you're in business and you're wanting to attract and magnetize your people, your tribe, your community, your dream clients, that you really have faith and trust in your unique voice, that it's going to come across and catch their attention. Yeah? Ooh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to try to not, be too deep in this so it doesn't take too much of your time today. And this is something that we can always continue to expand upon. But what we're talking about is the enticement of the enemy. And so the enemy, if we want to look at it this way, is this energy, this entity, this other essence that is constantly trying to pull you out of your power. And the way that the enemy does this is through fear tactics, through manipulation, and through scarcity. Scarcity is probably the one that we feel the most in our business, right? Like, my hand is raised, you can raise your hand even though I can't see you, you can drop in the chat. Yes, scarcity, like I feel that. Scarcity shows up a lot. And especially as entrepreneurs, where at the beginning the journey is a little bit like me, myself, and I, right? It can feel really isolating. And so the way that this shows up in our mind is, I'm not worth that. I don't think I'm the one to do it. We get imposter syndrome. Who am I? Right? Who am I to show up and talk about these things? Like, I don't have a degree. I don't have this. I don't have that, right? So this is the enemy attacking your confidence. And not only is the enemy attacking your confidence, they're attacking your joy, right? The excitement that maybe you felt about that offer, but then all of a sudden now you're just like, oof, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I need more information, right? Again, this is all the enemy. This is all the enemy. And what we're going to be rewiring here is not only our nervous system for trust and for safety and for confidence, but also our inner posture, the way that we walk in life. And so when we're talking about embodiment, to embody a new truth, to truly embody safety, to truly embody the belief that, oh my God, Spirit's got my back because this is an amazing offer. I'm the exact person to communicate it in the exact way that I want to. And it's going to attract people to me, and people are going to want to work with me, and I'm going to change people's lives. Yes. Okay. I want that belief embedded in my soul, right? I want that. Yes, please. I'll take a double serving of that, right? Like, that's embodied faith. And you can even feel like when I say that, my voice uplifts. I get excited. You can't see it, but there's a little light behind my eyes, right? I love the way that belief makes me feel inside. And this is a key distinguishing factor between Spirit's voice, God's voice, the goddess's voice, again, however you relate to it, and the enemy's. Spirit's voice will make you feel nourished. Spirit's voice will literally give you life. It's giving life, honey. It's literally giving life to my soul. It excites me. It makes me feel curious. I'm open. There's an energy, an electric current in my body that I'm feeling. That is the voice of Spirit. The voice of the enemy will make you shrink. It will make you feel, if you were feeling colorful in the life-giving era, it will make you feel bland. It will make you feel bleak. It will make you feel gray, right? Shades of gray. It is life-draining. And so that's something that we really have to reflect on, and something that I would actually really love for you to do over this 30 days is kind of keep a journal. And anytime you have a thought come in of scarcity, of fear, of manipulation, I would like you to write it down in your journal. One, so you can see it on paper, right? Because it's one thing to have it in your mind and then just kind of be in this space where you think your thoughts are yours, even though they're not yours. It's another thing to see it written out on a piece of paper and go, oof, that's a lie. That is absolutely trash. That is not true. Or if you see it, you're like, I don't want that to be true. So this is one way over the next 30 days that you're going to be able to see so clearly what is an attack on your conscience, what is fear, scarcity, or manipulation, right? What is draining your life force energy versus the thoughts that come in that are giving you life, right? So over the next 30 days, that's my invitation. I highly, highly recommend this practice. It will change your perspective. In a week's time, it will change your perspective. And again, it's so important to see it, to get it out of the mind and to see it on paper, to be able to see that is not true. That is not my truth. I do not accept that. I do not consent to that. My new truth, the belief that I am rewriting for myself, is the opposite of whatever that statement is. There is more than enough for me. God is always backing my thoughts. God is always backing my spirit. I have strength in that. Right? So really focusing on that. And we're going to continue to work on this inner posture. So of course, like if today you realize, dang girl, there's a lot of negative thoughts in there. Like I wrote dozens of negative beliefs and negative thoughts, right? Be okay with that. Because what we're doing is we're extracting. These first couple days, we're extracting. We're trying to see like what's going on in there so that over the next couple weeks, right, we get to actually shift that on an embodied level. And so if you want to join me in a prayer for this week, for this day, feel free to take this with you, right? It's so simple. And it's so convicting, this prayer, this mantra, this affirmation. Again, however you want to relate to it. And the prayer is, Spirit, please keep my feet and my thoughts from walking in the way of that which plots against my innocence, against my purity, against my creativity, against my curiosity. Because that is where the enemy tries to attack us first, is our innocence. Tries to take away our innocence, our imaginative abilities to come up with creative solutions, to quite literally dance our way through our problems, our challenges, to come back into the dance and reverence with life. And so again, Spirit, keep my feet and my thoughts from walking in the way of that which plots against my innocence. Keep me on the path of your love. Keep me on the path of your safety. Keep me on the path of your provision, right? Knowing that I don't have to have all the answers, but I get to be in this dance with you. I get to be in this relationship and this intimacy with you, knowing that I do not have to do it on my own. And I love that. I love that so much. Do you love that as much as I do? Oh, I just feel like, yes, so much relief in my body with that. It's like a burden or a weight has been lifted. So I'm going to pause there because this has been a big download. I didn't even really get fully into what I want to do today, but that's great because there's more nourishment for later. So let me know how this is landing for you in our chat here. What feels alive? What are you noticing? What challenges you? Anything that kind of strikes a chord, please, let's discuss it in the chat below. And then later you'll be getting today's prompts. And we're off to the start, right? We're off to the races, baby. I'm so excited that we are here. Again, thank you so much for choosing this. And any questions, thoughts, concerns, reflections, of course, please share them. We are all here to support each other on this journey and continue to have a really beautiful, open dialogue together. So I'm sending you so much love from the Ciudad de Mexico. I'm sending you mucho amor, besitos, that's kisses, abrazos, that's hugs.